I have probably lost another $500,000 with being violated, and I always have a backup plan. I'm not
Right.
afraid to start over because it really is easy. Once you figure out the format and what TikTok likes, I am going to figure this algorithm out one way or the other.
Right.
Might take me 2 years. I don't know, but I will figure it out. You are strong and you can build another account and you can literally do whatever it is that you want to do. As long as you set your mind to it, you're going to be fine. You're going to be successful.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys again for tuning in. This is another wonderful Social Army podcast with your host, Bryce. That is me. I have a very wonderful guest on the show today who has done some absolutely phenomenal work on the TikTok shop. And for lack of a better term, this is the violation queen. So there's definitely going to be some questions I'm going to ask her today because she has overcome so much with TikTok shop and honestly can probably say that she feels a little more targeted than some others when it comes to some of these videos. So this is going to be a really fun one. Melissa's done, if correct me if I'm wrong, close to over at this point $2 million in total sales, which is absolutely insane. And again, we'll touch base on that later. But I don't like to waste any time, so let's jump right into this. My wonderful guest today is Melissa. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. My name's Melissa. I have been working on social media for 5 years. I got my start on YouTube in the DIY world. I have over 100,000 subscribers, and I do have almost or very close to 500,000 followers across all my platforms. Long form content just became a lot. When I started YouTube, I had one baby at home, and now I have three. And so creating long form content just became way too much. So I started on TikTok Shop last October now. It was like the end of October, beginning of November. And since then, I have made over $2 million in sales. It completely changed my life. I was already making good money on social media to begin with, but this money is nothing I ever knew I was getting into. I just kind of started doing it and I was like, wow.
And at such a
And
rapid
here we
pace
are.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. $2 million. That's crazy. And when did you get on to TikTok shop? You said at the beginning of the year or at the end of last year?
So my crafting account was almost to 100K on TikTok. So I
Okay.
already had experience making all sorts of content for every
Sure.
single platform. And I grew that page really fast. I grew it to 100K in less than a year. And so I already kind of knew what I was doing a little bit, but I didn't understand like all the rules and all those things. I was just like, here I am. I'm gonna like give honest reviews. So
Right.
in the midst of that, um, yeah, things have changed a lot over time.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I just kind of jumped in feet first and I just went for it.
Yeah, TikTok is especially if you have a little bit of content creation experience behind you, jumping into the TikTok shop side of things was probably more or less a breeze, but just completely caught you off guard with the amount of money you make with it. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's one of the most explosive income opportunities that I think our generation has ever seen. It's absolutely incredible. So that's good. So you've been doing this for quite a while. I mean, content's nothing new to you, but the short form content definitely was. But you know, at the end of the day, I really don't see your content as being too short form. It's short
No,
form,
it is long.
right? It's short form formatted, but it's long form. Vertical content, not long form, but like 2-3 minute videos, which is really cool because a lot of people finding the success with those longer styles of videos is really difficult to do because you have to,
Yeah.
you have to be able to entertain the audience, and you do a really good job at doing that. So kudos to you for that, for sure. So real quick, I just want to touch base on a couple of different things real fast before we dive super deep into all this stuff. Outside of the long form content that you had done on YouTube, you said you were making some decent money in terms of social media in general. What was that coming from outside of TikTok? Was it just from like sponsorships, or were you monetizing your views, or did you,
So okay, so with YouTube, I'm
uh-huh.
sure as you know, there's a period where you don't get paid. You have to get 4,000 watch hours or 1,000 subscribers is what it was back then.
I think
And
it's still the
so
same. It doesn't seem too
I
hard to
think it is
attain though.
too. it is, but it isn't.
Right.
YouTube is a lot different. And there's things that go into it that make it a little bit different. But when I started to get paid and when I started to become monetized, I realized that really where the money was building multiple streams of income. So I started to get brand deals. Unfortunately, I had a run in with multi-level marketing.
Mm.
Uh,
I think we've all been down that road. If anybody's tried
yeah,
making money online,
actually did really good with multi-level
that's
marketing.
surprising. I failed at
Um,
every one of mine. I hated them.
yeah, I was making almost 20 grand a month. And
Wow.
in my best months, I was like, I can't do this. Like it felt icky and I just couldn't do
Yeah,
it
yeah.
anymore. So anyway, long story short, I learned that you really have to build multiple streams of income. So I had, my Amazon links, brand deals, YouTube monetization. So that's how I made my money, was
That's
multiple
awesome.
ways.
That's so smart too, because just monetizing your views isn't enough. Of course you
Yeah,
want to work
for
with
sure.
brands and things like that, but you got to work with brands that you can trust. What was one of your favorite brands that you worked with during your YouTube days?
Again, I was in the DIY world,
Uh-huh.
so I got this really cool glow forge machine and I was like a
What's
part of
that?
it like cuts wood
Okay, okay,
and
okay.
then you can make like different shapes and signs and all kinds of different things with this really high quality, expensive machine. I think
Right.
the machine was like $5,000 or something. Um,
You
and
bought it
I
or
No, they gifted it to, I keep doing the thumbs up on accident.
you're fine.
They gifted it to me for the collab.
That's
And that
amazing.
was really cool because I got to be a part of their launch of that special machine. And
Right. And a $5,000 machine for custom work, that's crazy. That's
yeah,
super cool. I mean, making content really does pay off. The amount of
it
cool
really
shit that we
does.
get is so cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's good. I mean, having that kind of a background is great. I don't think I've really talked to anybody that's done anything YouTube related major on this, so that's pretty cool to hear your side from that, and then transferring over from that over to TikTok and the short form style of things, which TikTok
Yep,
is a never ending battle. We're all still learning, but
it really
um,
is.
yeah. So quickly to touch base, how did you discover Social Army? I mean, I know I saw you in our live, my lives when I first started doing all this in the very beginning. Was that kind of like your initial hit with us in the very
That's what
beginning?
it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw you on live and we were just kind of chatting back and forth. And then that's when I had reached out to you,
Right.
excuse me, and then joined the social army. I'm the type of person, I love to hear people's information.
Hmm.
Like, obviously I've been through all the things, I know a lot. There's probably not much I don't know. However, I don't know everything,
Right.
and I love to hear other people's like stories and tips and tricks and experiences.
Right. I think I remember the first time you ever showed up to one of my lives. I was showing my numbers on there and you were like, "Oh, I'm good at this. I've done X amount." And I was like, "No way. That's insane." And I think at the time you had just reached $1 million in GMV, which was
Yeah,
only like 5 months ago. So in the last 5 months, you've done like another $1 million, which is
yeah.
absolutely incredible. So that's awesome. Well, good. Were there any sort of like challenges in the beginning of TikTok? I know a few minutes ago you said that, you were still learning with TikTok in the very beginning, but what were some of the biggest challenges you faced with dealing with TikTok's moderation and algorithm and things like that? That was the question.
It it was very disheartening, and it's just like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm not
Right.
doing what they say I'm doing. But at the time I didn't have an agency, so it was just something I had to deal with. Like, I have one account that I have no access to TikTok shop because I got 24 points like very early on. They
Hmm.
just racked up, and I have noticed that the system recognizes you as doing something wrong, then you're on their radar and they're gonna hit you, hit you, hit you.
For every video. Yep.
Yeah. And so it can be challenging. And there are many times where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is affecting my mental health. Like, and then I'm like, Melissa, stop it. Like, this just comes with the territory. And the quicker you just understand that this is the way it is and you pick yourself up and move on, the better you're going to be. So now I get mad for like 5 seconds and I'm like, oh, well, it is what it is.
Right. And the thing too is this is all uncharted territory.
It is.
Nobody understands any of this. TikTok Shop is so new. We are the mice in the experimentation of TikTok. Those of us who have become pretty successful with this, especially yourself being included in that, like you've gone through the trials and tributes of all of this, and you're literally just that experimentation for TikTok Shop. So
Yep. Even
we're
they
the
don't
ones.
know what's going on.
No, they have no
Even
idea.
they're, yeah.
We're the ones charting that territory for them. We are the ones carving that path for the future people who come into this. And hopefully in the next year or so, TikTok will clean up their act and have a little bit better of an AI recognition system for those violations and keywords and be able to distinguish or differentiate keywords from actual statements as well. Because, I have some videos where I'm not even talking about whatever it is it says I get a violation for, but it picked up on one keyword that I said earlier on in the video. So it's very, very frustrating.
Drives me nuts.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So I do want to touch on the violation queen part of things here. Can you explain to people how you filter through your accounts? Because this is one of the coolest things I think anybody that is an affiliate does. Melissa does something that most people would have a hard time keeping up with, but it's extremely smart. Could you explain that for us?
So I just don't waste time. When I notice that something is super slow or a violation is suppressing my content, I'll start a new account and I'll grow it super duper fast. And I get access to the shop super fast. So I have about 8 accounts altogether. And I always have a backup plan. I'm not
Right.
afraid to start over because it really is easy. Once you figure out the format and what TikTok likes, you just implement it over and over and over and over and over again.
It's simple. I mean, there's a roadmap to this. Building accounts, find something that people are interested in, and put it out there, and people are going to watch it, and you're going to build accounts over and over and over that way. A lot of people ask, why do you have a second account, or why do you separate your current content or your regular content from your shop content? Well, it's pretty easy. You have a separate account for a backup reason. You never know when TikTok's going to hit you with that violation that suspends your account for an entire week. And a lot of the times it's wrongful violations that are pretty simple to overturn if you have the right resources to help you do so, which includes an agency or understanding how to combat these violations and write a good appeal, which some of these appeals are only read by an AI, so sometimes they're hard to get overturned. That's why having an agency is so important. Real quick, shameless plug here. Social Army is an agency, by the way. So if you do decide you want to join this, you can always get in through there. But outside of that, it's one of those things. Having a backup is huge. Melissa will filter through her accounts when, one gets up to 15, 16 points. Oh, time to go start posting on a different account. Let's let this one cool off. Let it go through its phase, and violations will fall off after 90 days. Now, if you get a 24 out of 24 point violation, unless you can get it appealed, your account's done. But you just got to be mindful. You got to be mindful of what you say and how you do it. What is your favorite style of content? I mean, I know you're kind of all over. Do you like supplements? Do you like, home goods? You're a mom. So, I mean, do you promote mom products or
My
what's
best
your favorite?
selling products are hair products. And
Okay.
I think it's just because I had went through a really crazy hair journey after having kids. My hair was a hot mess and I kind of fixed it over time, real time in front of everybody. And I started to share my story about it and what were the products that I had used. And so my best selling products are hair products, are supplements, because technically the hair growth niche, I guess, is considered a supplement, even though shampoo and conditioner is not a supplement. It claims to grow your hair.
Right. It's
So
body
in the
altering.
eyes of TikTok, it's still making claims the way a supplement would.
Sure.
And I also do sell hair vitamins, which those are supplements. And so I get in a lot of trouble. And
That's hence the violation queen part of things. I love it.
but I'm just crazy. I'm like, these are my
Yeah,
best selling products. Like, they're not going to get rid of me. I am going to figure this algorithm out one way or the other.
right.
It might take me 2 years. I don't know, but I will figure it out.
That's funny. And it's so hard. It's so hard. I
It
posted a
is.
video not even speaking and I got a violation and got my video removed for exaggerated claims. How? I have no idea. So, but it is what it is. I'm assuming it was the motions of what I was doing, but I have
Right.
no clue. That's crazy. But hair growth, that's insane. So I've got long hair myself and
Yeah.
I suck at maintaining my hair. People always ask me all the time, what do you use for your hair? Literally just shampoo. Like I
Right.
condition it maybe once a week. Um, but I should probably take better care of my hair because it is long. It's almost down to my butt, which is crazy.
Yeah,
But
I meant to tell you you would do good with hair products.
I thought so too, and then when I do that thing where I curl it and it curls up,
Yep.
it looks good, but I don't know. I like
It's not
having
your
it.
thing. Yeah.
Right, right. I like having it, but man, it's always up in a ponytail and I'm always wearing a hat. I might as well have
Mine
short hair
too.
again.
Same.
That's funny. So, how do you choose your products? Do you have like a certain method? I mean, obviously, hair care is one of your favorite things, but is there things you stay away from? Is there a specific way that you choose your products, or is it something if it's interesting, and you kind of go from there?
I just go for products that I think I would love, or if I'm like, oh, I know that, I know all about that product or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, I just stick to my interests. A lot of things flop. A lot of videos don't go anywhere. Um, and that's okay because that's just the way it is.
Let's
And
put some emphasis behind that one.
yeah, here we are. We're all trying to make money, and I think people get like so crazy about it. But the thing is like we're all very different. What might work for me in 2 days might take you a month, or vice versa.
Yep.
Yeah, so I
And
just
so
stick to
many people
things
don't
I
understand
love
that.
and I'm passionate about.
Hmm.
Never, ever, ever pick a product because it has a good commission. Never, ever, ever pick a product just because it's viral. Like for me personally, I have to be really passionate about them to even be able to speak about it in a certain way.
I preach that all the time. Make sure that you're picking things that are passion products. If it's not a
Yep,
passion product, you cannot speak, what's the word, authentically about the
exactly.
product.
Exactly.
Authenticity is everything. You'll hear me say it in every single podcast.
Yep,
Authenticity is everything.
yep.
Everything. So that's cool. So I mean, everything you pick then is just passion related. So you are a lot of the products that you deal with, are they viral or do you take part in helping making them viral when something does pop off?
A little bit of both. So the hair vitamins and the shampoo and conditioner, I did make both of those products viral.
Nice.
Um, but some products that I try out are not, and I already kind of go into it like my way of thinking is I'm going to get this product for free and I'm going to do a video. And if it takes off, then I'll do more. If not, then I got a free product for a 2 minute video or what, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. And that's a
So,
good way to look at it too. Cause if it does flop, oh, well, you got a cool product out of it.
yeah.
I kind of want to push back to that whole flopping thing. How many videos do you think you've posted?
Oh my gosh, I probably could not even put a number on that.
Probably over a
Thousands.
thousands, right?
Thousands.
Out of those thousands, how many of those do you think were successful? Say less than 100?
Less than 100. Yep. I make all my money on the same products usually.
Right.
You're only
So,
going to make money on 2 to 3 products at a time, in
mhm,
my opinion and my experience.
mhm.
Um, so that's what I feel, but maybe other people have seen something different. I don't know.
No, I agree with you there 1,000%. It's never like every product that you have under the sun. It's only a couple of them at a time every time. So
Yes.
with that being said, you've posted thousands of videos across all of your accounts, and less than 100, in your opinion, have been your money makers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just take that into perspective here. If you just posted 1,000 videos and say 100 of them did well, that's only 10% of the work that you put in that actually paid off for you, and
Yep.
90% of it completely failed.
Yep.
I want y'all, whoever's watching this, if this is your first time watching one of these podcasts, or if this is the first time you ever watched anything TikTok shop related, listen to that. It's absolutely insane how much consistency is involved in this to keep yourself afloat. You can't post 10 videos and expect 5 of them to do well and then be like, okay, this is going to be great. You're going to post 10 videos, and every single one of those videos is probably going to flop. You're going to post another 10 more. Guess what? Those are probably going to flop too. You're going to post another 10 more. Maybe one will pop off. But by the time you get to 100 videos, probably only 10% or less of those will actually have done something for you.
Yep.
So I want that to be very clear. Just because she's made $2 million in total sales, and I don't even know where to begin on commission. What do you think your average commission is? 25%? Somewhere in
Yeah,
there?
I believe that I've made around $500,000.
So $500,000 in commission.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely insane. In less than a year's time, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
10% of the thousands of videos she posted made her that $500,000 in total income, which is absolutely insane. So just understand that this is purely a numbers game backed with consistency. If you lack either one of those, odds of you succeeding in this industry are slim to none. Just keep that in mind. And she is living proof of it too.
Is that people have to people have to stop caring what other people think. You're going to let that hold you back. And it's dumb because nobody pays your bills. Nobody really actually cares. They just want to be bullies and talk bad to you to make you feel that way. And so you really have got to get thick skin and not care how stupid you look, what your hair looks like, what you have on. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. People love to see real, raw, and honest. And guess what? Rolling out of bed and being on your phone is real.
And raw and honest.
Raw and honest. So
that is 1,000%.
I see a lot of people who just care way too much. And I did in the beginning too, so I get it.
I used to delete comments. I didn't like it, and I learned, you know what? That's what feeds the engagement on the video. And what does TikTok like? TikTok likes engagement, and they like watch time.
Yep.
So what happens when people are in the comment section typing out comments? They're giving you watch time. And then every comment they give you is another form of engagement. TikTok will push the shit out of that video as long as there's a bunch of people doing that. So you got to build that thick skin. Without it, internet trolls will destroy your life. I promise you that. I promise you that. There is no filter between those guys. So what are some of the things that you do to help breed your engagement while we're on this topic? Is there anything that you do in particular to breed hate comments or to breed relatability or anything of that nature?
I love rage bait. I love it. It's my favorite.
How do you go about creating that rage bait?
To be quite honest, I don't even know what I'm doing, talking. But I do use my husband a lot. My husband is 24 years older than me. And
oh yeah, that'll breed a lot of rage bait out of that. That's so smart.
And people love to tell me how stupid I am, that he's my grandpa, and
oh my gosh.
So that I love to use because I already know what's coming.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I grew an entire page just rage baiting them with my husband.
That's so smart.
Because our kids are our biological children.
Right.
And I'm like, who's this one look like? Who's this one look like?
That is so funny.
For the record, I do not use my kids for content. I just thought it was funny. But for me personally, I don't use my kids for content like that. Here and there, they'll make a little tiny appearances or whatever. But yeah, I like rage bait. I think it's funny. And I'm like, you guys are falling into my trap. You think you're coming at me, got her. And I'm like, You guys are so stupid. You fall for it every time. But also love to tell people like you can grow your hair thick and you can argue with me in the comments if you want. Like I'm just a sassy kind of girl. And so I just let my personality shine and people either love me or hate me. There's no in
Right.
between.
Right. And that's, that's a good thing though, because the more people you can get to comment on the relatability side of things, as well as the controversy side of things, it's all engagement, regardless of how it's, perceived on their end. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea they're helping you. They think they're out here like, haha, got you. Now who looks dumb? You still, because, you're feeding into it. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the whole thing too, I think one of the things, you being a woman creator in this space too, is the mean girl attitude that a lot of these other women in this space have.
Oh
And
God.
oh my gosh, a lot of them can't get rid of. It's like men in their ego. A lot of women can't let go of their ego either when it comes to seeing another woman succeeding in this area when on these videos. They'll go through
Yeah.
and they'll just start commenting mean girl crap all over the place. And guess what? All that does is feed the engagement. So
Yep.
it's one of those things. I've seen it over and over and over again. The amount of mean girls that are in these comments of women trying on clothes. It is so insane to me.
It
But guess
is.
what? Their videos are popping off and they're making
Mm-hmm.
so much money off of it. So it
So
does
much.
not even matter. But that's where the thick skin comes in. You got to develop that thick skin because you're going to get some, for lack of a better term, some fucked up comments. But
Very.
you've got to read by, just let them go. And a lot of the times I don't even read my comments anymore. They'll blow up. I'll pick a random comment. I'll make a video reply to it. That's it.
Yep. Yeah,
That's it.
I'm gonna hire my best friend to work my comments because I'm in the same place where I have so many accounts that I
Yeah.
can't do everything
Yeah.
anyway. And you should always delegate. But for the other reason is like I am human, okay? And I'm not saying it doesn't bother me. It does make me laugh, but I also want to comment back something smart
Sometimes. Right. Right.
and then
Right.
they report you and then you get in trouble. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna delegate and let her handle all that and then if there's like questions or something,
Right.
but
And
yeah.
it'd probably be good too to have her search for some comments to make replies too, train
Yeah.
her on that aspect of things. I made a video about some shoes a while back that went pretty viral. It did almost 5 million views. I told all of TikTok that I was 250, which at the time I was. Now I'm like 260. But the shirt I was wearing and the angle I was filming myself made me look like I was 100 pounds heavier. And every one of my comments was like 250. You forgot 100 pounds, or you might as well turn that 2 into a 3. You look more like 350. Oh, he must be 5 foot. I'm 6 foot, by the way. I got all these crazy comments about my weight, and the video was about shoes. Crazy
Yep.
viral, 5 million views, but pure hate comments.
Yep.
Then I took one of those hate comments and I made a video and I weighed myself for all of TikTok to see. Well, as you can imagine, that video didn't do very well. That video did a fraction of the views as the viral one did because people didn't like it and there was no hate to be commented on. So,
Right.
but yeah, I bred so much engagement off of that video just by the angle I filmed myself in. Made myself look like I was super big and short, I guess. And I'm not short. So it was crazy. But it's those hate comments, man. They breed so many views. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So, have you had any crazy setbacks? Have you lost lots of money? Have you had an account that completely
Oh
tore you
yeah,
apart?
I've
Yeah.
probably lost
You,
$500,000.
you broke out there. Say that one more time.
I have probably lost another $500,000 with being violated and suspended and suppressed and
Oh,
yeah.
that's a heartbreaking thing to hear. I've lost probably close to 10,000 just from being tied up in accounts and violations and things. But God, just to be anything over 100 grand would just hurt.
It is and it hurts and I'm like, "Oh my God," but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. But I have noticed, and maybe this is just me, again, this is just my theory, but I have noticed that TikTok only lets you do so good and then they're like, boom, like
Cap
knock
you
you
out.
back down. So I'm like, okay, you're not gonna get me. I'll start another account. Up, and then they're like, violate. And then, it takes a nosedive. It is crazy. And I did have a meeting with the violation or the policy team last week, and apparently they know that this is a really big problem, and they are going to make some necessary changes. But until that day comes, I'm not going to hold my breath.
Until it's noticed. And you're right.
Yeah.
I've my big account, it took a nosedive. It got banned, I got it back, and it just took a straight nosedive after that, and I haven't been able to get it. I haven't been able to revive it since.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't operate with as many accounts as you do. I don't understand how you do it.
Well, I don't operate them all at the same
Oh
time.
yeah.
There's
But
no
man,
way. But yeah. I usually do about 2 to 3 at a time, give or take. I'm
see,
just
that's more
crazy like
manageable.
that.
Yeah, that's more manageable, but still, I manage my personal page, my personal branding page, my main affiliate page that I have now, which I try to at least get one video a day out on. And then I'm trying to manage my other one, and I just don't know what to do with myself. I don't know. It's just too much sometimes. Way too much. But golly, $500,000 in lost money is absolutely insane. TikTok, you got to watch out for TikTok, guys. They will literally pull the plug on you just like that. Just
That's
like
why you
that.
always have a backup plan.
Just like that. Real quick, you've got a case study inside of our social army,
I
don't you?
do. Yep.
You do. So for those of you who want to learn from Melissa's style, and if you feel as if you relate to her, if you do decide that you want to join Social Army, or if you're already in Social Army and you're unaware that she has a case study, it is on the course section of things. You are more than welcome to go check that out. Actually, I urge you to go check that out because she dropped some pretty good bombs in there that I think a lot of people would really need to hear. She's raw, she's real, and she does not hold back. So that's huge. And if you, again, are thinking about joining Social Army because you're watching this today, her link's going to be at the bottom of this. Join up, take a look at her case study, and go watch the rest of the material because I promise you, learning from people like Melissa and the others that we have in there is one of the best things you can do because you got to
so
find
many
someone.
good people.
So many.
So
And you,
many amazing creators. And
and you've got to find the ones you relate to.
they're very kind, and they all want to help other people. So we're all just kind of like trying our best to help others so that others can see success because there's plenty of money on TikTok. There's plenty to go around.
1,000%. There's no such thing as saturation in this market, in my opinion. I mean, it's like Amazon back in when Amazon went crazy big back in 2012, right? Even to this day, Amazon has some saturation depending on your niche, but there's businesses popping off and becoming absolutely mega successful on Amazon every single day because there is just an untapped market across the entire nation and world. And TikTok is starting to get there. I don't know if you've noticed, Melissa, but you now can have certain links that are international.
I have noticed that.
That's crazy. So your videos not only are subject to just the US audience, but certain videos now can be played on the TikTok shop here in the US and in the UK, which means you can double dip in the audience. Now, don't get me wrong, the UK market's not like the US market. You don't have crazy people that want to buy everything under the sun over there, but being able to tap into that market as well is absolutely wild. It's international. So TikTok is really growing and it's going to be a massive, massive thing. And there's so much money to go around, and learning from creators is the best way to do it.
When they get in Canada, that's going to be really
it's going to be massive.
Because
It'll be so
I
massive.
get comments all day, every day from my Canadian friends
Yep.
trying to shop my links, and they're like, I don't see a link. And I'm like, you're in Canada.
And it sucks because they're neighboring country. Like they would buy just like we do. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So a couple more things before we get out of here. I wanted to go over some of the biggest lessons that you've learned in creating this short form style of content. Is there anything you would urge new creators to stay away from in terms of creating content? Like I know when I started, I made vlog style content, and for me, it didn't work very well because I didn't have any call to actions, and I would demonstrate what I was doing, but my conversions were horrible. I switched that up and made funnier, controversial, relatable style of content. But is there anything that you've noticed? Because I know you have vloggy style content, but it works well for you. But is there anything you would urge people away from?
I would urge you to stay away from riskier products. If
Right.
you, okay, so there's many different types of people, right? Some people might not have it in them to build a bunch of accounts.
Sure.
So if you're not willing to put in the work that it takes to build multiple accounts, then I would definitely be careful in the products that you're selling. So, for instance, again, the supplements, just the more riskier products, there's a lot of really good products on TikTok Shop that really don't have much risk. So that's probably one of the biggest things is know what you're getting into when you're getting into it. Know what could happen depending upon what products. Because I didn't know when I first got into this. I had no idea that that was even a thing. And so I was just like, oh, here's this cool product I've been using. I'm going to talk about it. And I didn't realize that there's a PR standpoint and there's a standpoint that TikTok does not want to be sued. And so that is why they have so many rules and the AI and all that, because there's so many of us and not enough of them. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you're scared of violations, then I would definitely stay away from riskier products. However, please understand that it might be a big risk, but the reward is also super big too. And you are strong and you can build another account and you can literally do whatever it is that you want to do. And so, as long as you set your mind to it, you're going to be fine. You're going to be successful. But I think a lot of people just have to get out of their own way and get out of their own head and just go for it.
That yes. Oh my gosh, yes, 1,000%. Get out of your own way. You are your biggest obstacle,
Yep.
without a doubt. Your mind is your biggest obstacle.
Yep.
Jump over it, punch it, knock it out, do whatever you got to do. Get out of your own way.
Yep.
That's huge. I say that a lot, and most people don't understand that. You know, your family. You might be embarrassed to post videos, but your family's not going to be the one that tells you to stop. It's your head.
Exactly.
You're going to be the one to say, I don't want them to see it, so I'm just not going to do it.
Well, you
Whose
know what
fault
the
was that?
crazy part is? Even though I've been doing all this for so long, I still do that to myself. I'm like, I'm creating the same content. People are going to get tired of it. And it's like, no,
Right.
that's what's working. That's why I keep doing it, because that's what's working and
Yep.
that's okay. So I do it to myself too, but then I step back and I'm like, nah, girl, we're not going to do that.
I shoot myself in the foot all the time. I feel as if the same people are going to see it, which is complete BS.
Yep.
You're never going to have the same audience twice, ever. It's always new people. Sure, some people who have seen you in the past might see you again, but I can't tell you how many times I see the same. This is going to sound kind of weird, but I can't tell you how many times I see the same shop creator over and over again. I don't. I'll see one video of them one time. I will never see them again, ever. Because the content that they're making curates to a different audience every single time.
Yep.
So it's absolutely insane. And when people follow you on your shop account, they're not following you to see your content over and over again, because TikTok's not going to give it to them. They're just following you just to follow you. They're going through the motions. So don't be afraid to post the same video, not the same video, but remake the same video 5 or 6 times and post it over and over and over again, because your audience isn't the followers you have. That's not your audience. The For You page is your audience.
No.
So it's insane. What's your most viral video, by the way? I wanted to ask you that. I forgot to ask you that earlier.
I believe it is that hair video. I'm not sure exactly, but I do think it's the one that I did in my case study. That's the weird thing. I don't get super duper high mega views like a lot of people do. That video is sitting at like 11 million, I think, maybe 10 or 11.
That's still a lot of views, though. That's a lot of views.
It is. It really is. But like, I hear all these people like 20 million, like 50 million, and I'm like, someday that's gonna be me. But I've done really well on videos that got 100,000, 500,000 views. It just depends. It's all how you market it. Because you could have a video with 2 million views that get no sales, and then have a video with 50,000 views get 20. So it just depends. Views don't always equal sales.
No, they do not. And sometimes, you've got to have a reason to make people want to buy from you. If you're just demonstrating a product, sometimes they won't even realize there's a link there. Tunnel vision. They're just stuck looking at you the whole time. I've got a video that did 19 million views, made me 80 grand. I got a video that did 3 million views, made me 30 grand. It's two completely different ends of the spectrum. Then I have another video that did 2 million views, and I think it only made me $1,000. But it was such a low commission product. and I didn't sell very many of them. But it just goes to show, views, like she said, do not always equate to sales.
Nope.
But yeah, no, views, one of these days I'll get one of those 50 million view videos, but I don't understand how some of these guys be pumping out 30, 40 million views. Like, where do these people come from? It's insane. There's a guy in the TikTok shop community. His name's Nick Fowler. He has a video that's got like 40 million views on a car charger. How? That many views on a car charger is insane. Insane.
I don't get it either.
I don't understand. I made the same video on the car charger. I think I got 2 million views on it. But man, 40 million is just wild. Wild. So I want to touch base real quick on the community real fast. You're being a part of Social Army, just being a part of this community. You've been with us almost since the beginning. I think you got with us in April. I mean, we launched it March 22nd, so it may have been shortly after that. But how, in terms of that, how has that impacted you and possibly even helped you throughout all of this? Because obviously, the course material side of things wasn't something you really needed because you knew what you were doing in essence coming into this. But with everything else, because you're in our mastermind group, and by the way, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's a smaller group of us that are inside there. There's no extra charge or anything like that. But once you've mastered TikTok Shop, we want you in that group because we want to bounce ideas off of each other.
Exactly.
And we have meetings weekly for it. But how has that impacted you? Do you think that that's helped you or brought a lot of value to you?
Oh, for sure. I love the Social Army altogether, just the community aspect.
Right.
I love to like watch people in their very early stage and then like get advice and then winning. I love watching that. But I also really appreciate the other masterminds and the other people who will answer your question at 2:00 in the morning, or it's really, really good to have other people's perspectives and opinions and stories and what you might know, what you might know, they might not. What they might know, you might not.
Right.
And so we all just learn from each other, and I've been in a lot of communities, and this one by far is the best, especially with Stan and Basil and Jasper. And even though they're kind of behind the scenes, which if you're just seeing this for the first time, they kind of make the wheels turn of Social Army. And they're just great guys, and they're so helpful and amazing. I love everybody. I really haven't talked to or came across anybody that I don't personally like, really.
Right. And I think that was the goal with this from the beginning, was to attract the individuals that were fitting for each other in this space, because there's a lot of groups out there, there where animosity is high. I mean, you enter the chat and you can immediately feel just the tension, and you're not even in the room with them. But it's just one of those things, you post the question in some of these groups and you get a backhanded answer like, oh, your content's bad. Okay, well, can you elaborate? Just make better content. Where am I struggling? Where do you see my content being bad? Is it my hook? Is it, my storytelling? Is it the product? What's going on? I just make better content. That's typically the answer you get in most other places. But with us, we try to give you an in-depth answer as to why your content is possibly not performing. Melissa is really good at it. She'll jump in the video feedback section, and I love seeing it because you'll get in there and you'll tell people, you suck at this portion of what you're doing, but you're good here, here, and here. And a lot of the times I think some people are taken back by it, but then they take a step back and they're like, wait a second. She knows what she's doing. Clearly, she's got millions of dollars in sales. So maybe she's just giving me some constructive criticism, which is exactly what it is. It's not there to make you feel shitty about yourself. It's there to say, hey, you need to work on this aspect of what you're doing in order to get better with everything else.
Well, and I think that's the beautiful thing about Social Army, is because we all have different ways of teaching. We all have different ways of speaking. And I'm just that straight up kind of person. Like, I don't like sugarcoating. I don't want nobody sugarcoating nothing for me. And unfortunately, I'm sorry. I love you, but because I love you, I'm going to be that friend who's going to give it to you straight. Like, if you got an ugly dress on and you're going to go on a date, I'm going to let you know that dress is hideous and to change it up. type of deal. I think I probably do come off to some people maybe rude or ignorant, and I truly don't mean it in that way at all. I'm just a very blunt and honest and straight up person because I want people to be that way with me as well.
And for those that don't know you, it's going to come across a little jarring at first. But after talking to you for a couple of weeks in the very beginning, you know, it's one of those things that you pick up on your personality very quick. You're like you said, you're not a sugarcoating type of person. You're just going to tell it exactly how it is, and that's point blank period. There's going to be no fluff behind it or beating around the bush. It's straight to the fucking point, excuse my language. And that's it. And a lot of people, they want to be coddled, and
That's exactly it.
and they like to victimize themselves and find fault in the other areas, which is not how this will work.
Right.
If you ever want to succeed in anything like this, you've got to take the blankets off, and you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I mean, you are the reason why your content will fail, not TikTok, not the viewers, nobody else but you. And Melissa does a good job at explaining that to people in the most direct way possible. So if you ever feel down on yourself, come to Melissa. She'll give you a pep talk, I promise. But outside of that, it's one of those things that you've got to get out of your own way. Bringing it right back to that, you've got to get out of your own way.
And I really do mean well. A lot of people probably don't know, but I'm a recovering heroin addict, 10 years sober. I was homeless.
Good for you.
I've been in and out of prison. Like, I've been through a lot in my lifetime. And so I really do just want to see other people change their lives the way that I did with this whole TikTok shop thing, because it's really insane that we all have the same opportunity. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all can do this. And so I really just want to see other people succeed. Like, that's my favorite thing, is to see, I had my first $1,000 day. I had my first $10,000 week. Or that is the best feeling in the whole world. I know. So to see other people go through that is amazing.
What she just said too is not hard to achieve either, by the way. Anyway, that $10,000 week might seem like a fairy tale, but I promise you this: you go scrolling through that win section in the Discord, you will see more people talking about, holy shit, I just hit my first $1,000 day. I just hit my first $10,000 week, because it happened every single week.
It's
every
amazing.
week. It is absolutely insane. We had somebody in the community the other day who's been posting. She posted, I think, 130 videos.
Wow.
Had a video pop off out of nowhere. Made $17,000 in one day. 2 million views.
Wow.
Oh, it was absolutely. She messaged me, or I think it's a she. I don't know. I can't tell by the name, but they messaged me and was like, hey, I've got a video going mega viral. I don't know what to do. I'm terrified. I don't know if my account's going to get banned and this and that. I was like, you're fine. Take a breath. And then I looked in the win section after they had tagged me, $17,000 in one day.
Holy
day.
Moses.
Yeah.
Good
and you want to talk about life-changing. Absolutely insane. 130 videos. All it took was one.
Yeah.
All it took was one. But I'm telling you, it happens every single day. Every day, someone's popping off. And it's not unattainable. You just got to understand that it works, and you got to put in the work for it. That's it. That is really it. That is really it. So, all right. Well, I think we're coming up on the end here. I don't want to keep you much longer. I know we both have some things to attend to this afternoon.
Life, kids.
Kids, gotta love them.
TikTok shop.
So, real quick before we get out of here, do you have any final thoughts or anything that you would like to say to anybody who's made it this far into the podcast? Any words of encouragement before we jump out of here?
Just show up, be yourself. Don't let anything hold you back, as hard as that is. I have to tell myself, take a day break, go get a massage, something, and then pick yourself up and keep going. That's all we can do. You cannot let anything hold you back, because this money is attainable and anybody can have it. You just have to put your heart into it, put your mind to it, go for it. Don't care what people think. Don't let violations or anything hold you back. Do not compare yourself to others, please, please, please.
Seriously.
That's probably the biggest thing I could say, is do not compare yourself to others. We all have different stories, and we're all on different trajectories. Do not care what people think. Don't let anything hold you back. And you guys got this. Your mind is more powerful. I don't think people realize is that their mind is what makes them go viral or
Mm-hmm.
what makes them flop. As crazy as that sounds, it's all in your mind.
It is 1000%. Everything I've created here with Social Army and everything I've created in terms of the success that I've had recently has been because of this. I told myself I wanted it and I was going to get it. And guess what? I got it.
It's
Just got
been
to have a
cool
big
to
enough why.
see it's been cool to see the social army like flourish. It really has.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. It's one of the best things we've ever done. And I couldn't have done it without the pillars that I have behind me, Basil, Stan, and Jasper. Those guys, there's 4 pillars to everything, right? And I'm one of the pillars. The other 3 I've got are standing behind me behind the scenes. And you wouldn't see them, but those guys make the wheels turn like you would not believe. So it's absolutely crazy what we've been able to accomplish together. And it's crazy what we've done in such a short period of time. And I enjoy having people like you, Melissa, and everybody else that we've had be a part of this. And it's just awesome to see the growth. So I appreciate you for being on here today. And remember, guys, you are responsible for your own success. That is it. Not somebody else, not your parents, not your wife, not your dog, you. And you just got to get up every day and chase after it. And you'll eventually get there. You just can't stop.
Yep. Yep.
You just can't stop. By the way, guys, if you want to join Social Army, there will be a link at the very bottom of this video. It'll be Melissa's link, so anybody who joins will be supporting her directly, as well as any one of her socials that she's comfortable sharing. We'll also include those down below, so that way you guys can go get some inspiration if you'd like to. But aside from that, thank you guys all for being here again today. That concludes another wonderful episode of the Social Army podcast, and thank you, Melissa, for being here.
Bye,
Appreciate you.
guys. Come hang with us. Bye.